Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Sports Coaster. On today's episode, we will be predicting the NFL divisional rounds coming up this weekend. We've got a jam-packed weekend of football, 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. There are going to be some great games, and I'm going to be telling y'all who's going to win. But wait, before we start, please go subscribe to Sports Coaster. Go into the description box. Click the link in the description box, that's the Instagram link. It'll take you to our Instagram page. Hit the follow button, come back to this video, and continue watching. Okay, so you're back. Now, let's start making some predictions. We're going to start off with the Atlanta Falcons versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Throughout this video, you will be noticing a pretty similar trend, and that is that I really value past playoff experiences when I'm deciding who I think will win this playoff game. Now, obviously, the Eagles don't have Carson Wentz and are missing some players on defense, but let's not get around the fact they still are a 13-3 team, and Nick Foles, well, he hasn't been doing terrible for the Philadelphia Eagles this season. In fact, well, he has 5 touchdowns and 2 picks, and I don't know, he's not doing terrible. But what I'm going to be emphasizing a lot is why I think the Atlanta Falcons will win this ball game, and there's only one word. It's called experience. Now, Matt Ryan, let's just take a quick look at his past career. 2008, he was in the playoffs. 2010, he was in the playoffs. 2011, he was in the playoffs. 2012, playoffs. 2016, Super Bowl. 2017, again in the playoffs. Now, let's take a quick peek at Nick Foles. 2013. Playoffs. They lost that game, and well, he had a decent game. 105 yards, 2 touchdowns, 23 of 33. Not bad for the Philadelphia Eagles, but that's his only playoff start of his career. His only playoff game he's ever been a part of in his entire career. Matt Ryan has started 9 playoff games. He's not just started playoff games, but he's done good in playoff games. Let's just take last year, for example. Now, I know. The Atlanta Falcons were really good offensively last year. He put up 1,014 passing yards in the playoffs, 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The last time he threw an interception in a playoff game was in 2012. Matt Ryan is very good in the playoffs, and we saw that again last week. He threw for 218 yards, 101 passer rating, 21 of 30 for a touchdown as well, and again, no interceptions. Matt Ryan is good in the playoffs. As for the rest of the Atlanta Falcons team, because don't get me wrong, the quarterback's not going to decide the winner of this ball game. We've seen it. I saw Colin Cowherd go public on the herd saying the best quarterback will win every single playoff game. He got his first 2 playoff predictions wrong, and so did I. To be honest, I did not see Tennessee winning against Kansas City. But let's take things to the next level. Let's look at experience. Offense. First off, for the Atlanta Falcons, again, I can't stress this enough. Playoff experience is so valuable in the NFL. Julio Jones, he's been here. He was in the Super Bowl last year. Mohamed Sanu was on the team last year. Alex Mack, I'm just going through the stars here. Alex Mack, the center. Austin Hooper, Toy Lolo, Matt Ryan, we've already talked about it. Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman on the offense. Those are really the big stars on the offense. They've all been here before. They're all very experienced in the playoffs. Let's take a quick look at the defense. Keanu Neal, Ricardo Allen, Desmond Trufant, Robert Alford, Devontae Campbell, Deion Jones, Vic Beasley, Grady Jarrett, Don Terry, Poe. The big stars have all been in the playoffs before. And special teams, well, Matt Bryant, quite frankly, I think he's probably the best kicker in the NFL. And if I'm down 2 in the Super Bowl with a second left on the clock, we got to kick a 60-yard field goal, I'll send Matt Bryant out there. I'll close my eyes and walk out of the stadium because I know he'll hit the field goal. Okay, Matt Bryant is very consistent. As far as the Philadelphia Eagles go, well, I know they do have LeGarrette Blount's playoff experience, of course, with his time with the New England Patriots. But aside from that, even if they did have Carson Wentz, I'm not even sure if I'd pick the Eagles in this ball game because, well, again, experience matters. Experience matters. Alshon Jeffrey, Nelson Aguilar, Kelsey, Zach Ertz, Nick Foles, Jay Ajayi on offense, not a ton of playoff experience. And then Vinnie Curry, Malcolm Jenkins, Ronald Darby, Fletcher Cox. You're not seeing a ton of experience in special teams when you have a rookie kicker in the playoffs and Jake Elliott. Look, I know he's hit a 61-yard game-winning field goal, but in the playoffs, it's a different beast. It's a different beast. The pressure's way bit higher. And quite frankly, Jake Elliott outside of 35 yards, I'm not confident at all in this game. And well, that's kind of the end of my little rant there. In conclusion, the Atlanta Falcons will win this game. It'll be close, but the Atlanta Falcons will win this ball game. You heard it here first. Let's move on to the next NFC rivalry, and this will be the best game we will see all year long. Probably better than the Super Bowl, because the Patriots will be playing in the Super Bowl, and that's always dumb because I hate watching the Patriots because they always win. Anyway, Saints-Vikings. This is going to be a good ball game. You got Drew Brees, the master passer, against Case Keenum, a third-string quarterback, undrafted, traded for a 7th-round pick or some crazy nothing value, no value. You got Drew Brees versus Case Keenum at quarterback in this game, and I know I just said playoff experience matters. Okay, I'm picking the Minnesota Vikings in this one, and don't get me wrong, Drew Brees, he's got a ton of playoff experience, okay? The man has played in a ton of playoff games. He is so good. He's the most underrated quarterback in the NFL, probably, in my opinion. Now, Case Keenum, well, he's a different story. He's been a backup quarterback his entire career. Now, this is where I'm going completely against what I just said at the beginning of the video, or playoff experience matters. But in the case of Case Keenum and Drew Brees, gonna make an exception and say, well, Case Keenum's not gonna need playoff experience. He's gonna have to play good, okay? I think we all know that. But he's not gonna have to play amazing. And there's only one reason why. It's because Minnesota's defense is so good. Like, I can't believe how good their defense is. Case Keenum could throw for 150 yards. And I'll tell you something, Xavier Rhodes can lock down any wide receiver in the NFL. Anthony Barr, Eric Kendricks, and Trey Waynes probably make one of the best linebacker tandems we've seen in the NFL. Harrison Smith is a lockdown safety. Up front, Emerson Griffin will get pressure on the quarterback. Linval Joseph, Tom Johnson, Danielle Hunter. The front four is scary good. They are absolutely scary good. Kai Forbath, I've already been mentioning the kickers. Kai Forbath can knock you a field goal. And on offense, well, the receivers are skilled. In Case Keenum, we've already seen it. Just give it up. Adam Thielen, he can make a play. Stephon Diggs will make a play. Laquan Treadmill can make a play. Running backs have been decent. Jerick McKinnon. And I know I'm saying not a ton of playoff experience at all, and you're like, Sports Coaster, what the hell are you talking about? These guys have no playoff experience. Well, and you really think the New England Saints do outside of Drew Brees? Sure, Drew Brees is amazing, but we saw what happened last week. He was their only offense. Alvin Kamara, Ingram, they weren't there. They didn't have a running game. And, well, you're gonna need that against this Minnesota defense, because I've already mentioned their corners are good, their safeties are good, and their linebackers are top 5 in the NFL. Michael Thomas, not a lot of playoff experience. He was amazing last game, but again, not a lot of playoff experience. Ted Ginn Jr., he was really good, and he does have a ton of playoff experience, kind of why I think he probably will be the best player on the Saints other than Drew Brees. And really, other than that, you look at their defense, it's young. Marshawn Lattimore's never played in a playoff game, this is his first year in the playoffs. It's a young defense with not a ton of playoff experience, so it's not like, well, the Saints have so much more playoff experience than the Minnesota Vikings, but they do have Drew Brees. Nevertheless, though, I think Minnesota's a better ball team, and this was really a really close one to call. I think Minnesota Vikings will win this ball game, and even if they don't, the winner of this ball game will play in the Super Bowl in Minneapolis. Now let's go on to the boring conference, the AFC. Let's be honest, we all know who's going to win both of these games, in between the Steelers and Jaguars, or the Tennessee Titans and New England Patriots. I think we've all been quite certain from the beginning of the year, Patriots and Steelers will be in the Super Bowl. And that's what I believe. The New England Patriots will absolutely dominate the Tennessee Titans. We'll finally realize last week, well, they were versing Kansas City, the biggest choke stars probably in the NFL playoff history. I know, the Atlanta Falcons blew a 25-point lead, but they don't lose every single year, blowing leads on leads on leads at home, always at home when the whole crowd's cheering you on. Tennessee, got to give full props to them for making the comeback, but they're going to be brought back down to earth because, quite frankly, Drew Brees is the best player the NFL's ever seen. Dion Lewis, Rex Burkhead, James White, Mike Gillislee, and James Delvin, even Brandon Baldwin, those 6 players I just mentioned, they all play running back, and you know what else? They all get minutes. You know what else? They're all really, really annoyingly good. It's just so annoying. When Tom Brady throws, he's got Rob Gronkowski, Brandon Cook, Danny Amendola, Chris Hogan to throw to. When he doesn't throw, well, he's got Dion Lewis and Rex Burkhead to hand the ball off. Oh, and I didn't mention, Rex Burkhead and Dion Lewis, James White, Mike Gillislee, they can all catch out of the backfield as well, which makes them so scary in this ball game. Defense, now I know, their defense is kind of trash, okay? Their defense is not that good. But Tennessee's defense isn't really that good either. They got Biard and Morgan and Arakpo, but really not the best defense that Tom Brady's ever gonna face in his time playing in the NFL. Well, special teams, again, Ryan Allen's a great punter. Steven Gostkowski will knock you a field goal. The last time that the Patriots kind of choked in the playoffs was when Gostkowski missed an extra point against the Denver Broncos in, I think, the year the Broncos won the Super Bowl. Then, well, they had to go for 2 in the last play of the game, and they didn't get it until the Patriots lost in the NFC Championship game. That was the last choke the Patriots ever had in the playoffs, and that's really sad to say because they're so good and I just don't want them to win. All I care is that the Patriots don't win the Super Bowl, but it will happen. Anyway, the Tennessee Titans, let's make some quick little analysis. Marcus Mariota is not going to play as good as he did last week against Kansas City Chiefs. Let's all be honest here, DeMarco Murray's not going to play. Derrick Henry will not rush for over 150 yards. There's no way. He can't do it against this team. I know their defense isn't that good, but they do have a great coordinator, and Derrick Henry's just not going to get it done. They're going to load the box, force Mariota to throw, and throw to Rashard Matthews and Delaney Walker. Not the best receivers in the NFL. I know Delaney Walker is quite good, but he's no Rob Gronkowski. Defensively, I've already kind of mentioned they've got great athletes on defense. Derek Morgan, Brian Arakpo, Wesley Woodyard, Adoree Jackson does get beat quite a lot, but he's really quick. Kevin Biard, Jarrell Casey, they've got quite talented defense, but again, their defensive coordinator has not had a ton of luck against Tom Brady. He is 6 of 2 against Tom Brady. Of course, he was a coordinator in Pittsburgh during the 2000s. Ryan Succop, the kicker, well, he's quite consistent, but honestly, you're not convincing me with the fact that Ryan Succop is one of the best kickers in the NFL, because quite frankly, the offense is not that good, and the defense is not good enough to stop the best offense in the NFL. I'm sorry, Rams, so the Patriots are officially way better than you on the offensive side. Pittsburgh versus the Jacksonville Jaguars, the last game here. The winner of this game will play against the New England Patriots if my predictions all come true, which, as we all know, they will come true. Let's look at the Jacksonville Jaguars. They got here with what? Their defense. Their amazing defense. And, well, yeah, their running game as well. But the defense, that's really what's been the main talking point. And the last time they played against Pittsburgh Steelers, they blew them out. Ben Roethlisberger was talking about retiring. He said he didn't like playing in the NFL anymore, and the defense almost forced him into retirement. But I just don't think that the defense will be as good. Well, they will be good, but Ben Roethlisberger, Ben Roethlisberger, Juju Smith-Schuster, Bryant, Le'Veon Bell, they will all be much better this time around. Just listing a few names: Barry Church, JJ Boye. They are some of the best safeties in the NFL. They are really locked down. Jalen Ramsey, he is just incredible. And up front, Malik Jackson and Calais Campbell and Aubrey Jones rushing you. Yeah, that's scary, and I don't think any quarterback's gonna like it, let alone Ben Roethlisberger, not the most mobile QB in the NFL, but still though. Ben Roethlisberger's got so much weapons. He can hand the ball off to probably the best running back in the NFL, and he got so much weapons wide receiver wise. Blake Bortles, I expect to kind of bounce back from his performance last week against Buffalo. Mercedes Lewis, I expect to have more of an impact, and really other than that, I don't even know that many names here. Leonard Fournette obviously will be getting a lot more action because well, this won't be a slugfest. I don't think the Jacksonville Jaguars will be going into this one the same way they went into Buffalo. They went into Buffalo saying, okay, we're versing a trash team that really shouldn't be here. Let's just play lockdown defense. Who cares about offense, really? I mean, let's just get the lead and clamp up on defense, and that's really exactly what they did, and that's all they had to do. Pittsburgh Steelers, well, I've already kind of mentioned it. Their offense is good, and really, really good. Hayward Bay, Juju Smith-Schuster, Martavis Bryant, they will all play amazing. Eli Rogers, I even see being great. Jesse James, well, I think he'll probably get some redemption from the terrible call against the Patriots. Jesse James, don't get me wrong, he's a great tight end, and I think he will have a big impact in this ball game. Ben Roethlisberger, we've already kind of talked about playoff experience. Well, trust me, this team has it. Big Ben Roethlisberger, especially at quarterback position, obviously the most important position on the field. I know Drew Brees, and I said playoff experience matters so much, and Drew Brees has so much more playoff experience in Case Keenum, but I still pick the Vikings. That's an exception, okay? That's just an exception. Ben Roethlisberger playoff experience is going to be the reason why the Steelers get the win here over the Jacksonville Jaguars. The defense, well, it hasn't been really the Steelers defense that we're all so accustomed to seeing, the lockdown defense. But Joe Hayden and TJ Watt, they're still great defenders, on a lot of playoff experience, but they are good on the defensive side. Cameron Hayward, Stephon Tuitt, I expect to have great games, and, well, Chris Boswell as well. The kicker, I've already mentioned it. Kickers matter in the playoffs, and when you've got Chris Boswell, well, you're in good hands, quite frankly. And ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for today. That's it for my predictions. That's who I think will advance. So, kind of in conclusion, Falcons versus Eagles. The Atlanta Falcons will win that ball game to verse the winner of the Vikings-Saints game, which will be the Minnesota Vikings. I see the Falcons versus the Vikings in the NFC Championship game. In the AFC, I see New England beating Tennessee, Pittsburgh beating Jacksonville to have a rematch of Week 15, this time in Foxborough, Patriots versus Steelers in the AFC. I hope you guys all did enjoy this video. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. You know, be nice, be mean, disagree with me. I really don't care. I just want to see what you guys think about it. I'd really appreciate it if you went below this video and gave it a like, subscribe, of course, and follow us over on Instagram for all the latest NBA content and NFL content. And ladies and gentlemen, we will see you tomorrow.